Hey friends, it's Robin. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about May new releases. This was actually a really hard month to get new releases for. There aren't very many. I had a ton in February and March. I have a ridiculous amount in July and August, but May and June, for whatever reason, seem to be pretty slow. I only have 9 books to talk about, so this will probably be a pretty short and quick video. As always, we're going to go in order of release date. So kicking things off right away, May 7th, we have You Should Be So Lucky by Cat Sebastian, which is a historical romance. This is set in the same world as We Could Be So Good. I always want to get the titles all confused. But you do not need to have read that book in order to read this one. I believe it's just following the same newspaper company, if I'm remembering correctly, or following this reporter who is tasked with covering the sports section, even though he is not a sports reporter. And one of his assignments for the season is to do this like one-on-one series with a down and out baseball player who is he's having a tough time. The two of them end up working together, and I believe working through some confidence things and falling in love along the way. On May 14th, we have a re-release, which is Collide by Bal Cabra. I really need to check the audiobook of this when it is re-released to figure out the correct pronunciation of this author's name. I know that this was super popular. It blew up on TikTok. It was an indie self-pubbed book, and now it is coming out from Berkeley. And I know almost nothing about the plot other than the fact that it is college hockey romance. I have had this checked out on KU for I think like a year now because I was like, oh, I'm not going to return it because I don't want to have to wait until it's published in order to read it. And here we are all of these months later. And I have a copy of it in my hand and it's still sitting in my KU library. But we will read it at some point. Like I said, college hockey romance. I believe it's opposites attract. She is kind of like uptight and focused, and he is the laid-back hockey star, and the two of them have to work together probably on some sort of school project. I don't know if there's going to be more books in this series or anything like that, but this is being re-released. They didn't change the cover or anything like that. That is coming out on the 14th. On May 17th, we have an indie book, which is Homestead by Claire Kent. This is Kindle book number 7. Book 1 of the series was Haven, which is actually on my May TBR. I have read and loved the full-length prequel book in this series, and I really want to binge the rest of the series this year. I don't know anything about this book. I actually got this from Heather from Hia Booktube's new releases video where she did her journal and May releases. And I think that she said this is a protector romance where the hero is protecting the heroine in exchange for something. Then on May 21st, we have 2 releases. First is Better Left Unsent by Leah Lewis. This is an author that I have read and loved from multiple times. I think I've read 3 of her books, and I've really loved them all. I'm nervous about this one. It has really bad ratings, especially for her. All of her other books have a pretty high rating, and this one does not. I believe we're following a heroine who accidentally sends an embarrassing email. It now has to work with the recipient of this email, and it is their romance. From what I remember from reviews is that they found the characters and the dynamic kind of young and immature. So I'm nervous about this one, but I'm still going to give it a try just because Leah Lewis wrote Dear Emmy Blue, which is one of my favorite books of all time. So she's an author that I'm always going to pick up. Maybe this just isn't the winner, but that's okay. The other book coming out that day is Looking for Love in All the Haunted Places by Claire Kahn. I just talked about this in my May TBR, but this is a paranormal romance following these 2 characters who are on a television show set at a haunted house. Heroine believes in the supernatural and supposedly works with the supernatural, and the hero is a scientist and doesn't really believe, and they have to work together to do something. And obviously they have an opposites attract romance. I know a lot of people really loved this author's debut, The Romantic Agenda, but I'm really excited for this one, and it is one that I plan to read very soon. On to May 24th, we have another indie book, and that is I Accidentally Summoned a Demon Boyfriend by Jessica Cage. This is another one that I got from Heather from Hia Booktubes. I believe we're following a heroine who accidentally summons a demon and is dating him. That's all I know about it. It sounds like a good time. I've really enjoyed a lot of these like funnier fantasy monster romances, especially mixed in between some of the more like intense and dark and serious books. So I have this one already added to my Kindle TBR. It'll be a new to me author, so hopefully I can get to that one at some point. On to May 28th, we have Bespelled by Laura Thalassa, which is the sequel to Bewitched, which was a witchy romance set at a coven, which is university-esque. We're following a heroine who loses memories every time she uses her magic, gets swept up into a mystery, like a murder mystery plot at her school, while also having to deal with this god-like person that she accidentally awakened, who believes that she is his wife, reincarnated, and is the one that trapped him in this temple. And he's trying to win her back and also get revenge. And a lot of craziness happens in here, and it is a really good time. I'm excited to see where this picks up after book 1. So that is coming out on the 28th, along with the 710 Split by Carmen Lee. I almost forgot about this book. This is one of those books that has kind of popped on and off my TBR. Really like the idea of a sapphic romance set around like a different sport, but I hate bowling. Like I hate bowling, like a lot. The thought of bowling is disgusting to me. The shoes, the bowling balls, everything is dirty. It smells like feet. I don't like bowling, but I've heard really good things about this author. The cover is really beautiful, and I'm always looking for more sapphic romances. And I believe that this is two bi heroines falling in love. I love all of those things. So this one is tentatively on my TBR. If you've read this, please let me know how much you liked it, and definitely let me know how bowling forward this book is. I'm very curious. And then lastly, on May 29th, we have one final indie release, and it is Only Fan Service by Giraldo. I'm so excited for a new Giraldo book. This is not set in her Dominating the Diamond series, which is Wild Pitch and Outfield Assist. This is not set in that at all, and it is actually not sports related. The only connection between this and that book is that one of our main characters happens to be the younger brother of one of the heroes in Outfield Assist. So you don't need to have read that other series if you're not interested in it. This isn't connected to it in any way other than a brief mention that like, hey, my older brother is a famous sports person. This is an MM romance, and I believe that one of the characters is a sex worker on OnlyFans, and they end up meeting through that somehow. Honestly, it's Giraldo, so like I'm shocked I know anything about it because I was always going to pick it up. I will read anything that she publishes. I do know that she posted a photo of a bunch of tropes. I'm going to pop it up right here in case you want more information than what I've given, but there isn't like a full synopsis or anything like that yet, as far as I know, so it's not like I'm just not sharing it. I don't think she's released a ton about the book quite yet. So that is it for the May releases that I have on my radar. Let me know if you have any additional releases that you're really excited for that you think I should add to my list. Like I said, this list feels very small, but there weren't many books that I was crazy excited about this month. So let me know if there's any big titles that I missed. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, I will see you in my next one. Bye.